400 million times. That's how often Diary of a CEO has been watched on YouTube. That's 40 times the population of Sweden. This success isn't by accident. Steven Barlett, the host, he's an entrepreneur who's very tactical in everything he does. And if something isn't by accident, it means we can replicate it, right? Definitely. You might not become as famous as Steven, but you'll definitely become more famous than you are right now after watching this video. Before we get into Steven's blueprint for success, I'll give you a 2-minute summary of who Steven is and what his podcast is all about. Okay, 2 minutes, that's all I need. It's so hot, let me take off my jacket. Okay, I'm ready. Steven became a millionaire at the age of 23, but life didn't always look this great. Steven Cliff Barlett was born on August 26, 1992, in Botswana. His mom left school at age 7 and couldn't read or write, while his dad is super smart and a structural engineer. When Steven was 2, his family moved to England looking for a better life. Steven was an insecure boy who struggled in high school, barely scraping through GCEs and A-levels. His attention, he said, was focused elsewhere. He was more interested in business. He started working together with local vending machines, started organizing school trips for money. It was clear from a young age that Steven was into entrepreneurship. So it wasn't really that surprising when he dropped out of his business management course after just one lecture. He says he went to the first lecture and looked around, and all he saw was hungover students. He knew that lectures wouldn't bring him to wherever he wanted to go, so he decided to leave. Steven dropped out and he started his first official company at the age of 19. It was a marketing company called Social Chain, and it's valued around $600 million right now. Jesus Christ. He left Social Chain in 2020 to pursue new projects like DirtWeb, a company that creates blockchain-based applications, and Flight Story, a marketing platform. Besides building companies, Steven has also become a celebrity. He's the youngest ever den in Dragon's Den, and Dragon's Den is kind of like a British Shark Tank. So he's more than a business owner now, he's also a celebrity. And besides that, he also runs one of the biggest podcasts in the world, Diary of a CEO. He started the podcast in 2017 and he has had conversations with people like Alex Hormozi, Jordan Peterson, Dana Dash, and the most famous cheater of all time, Jada Pinkett Smith. Bitch. Okay, that's it. That was a summary. I hope I made it in 2 minutes. I'm not sure. But now, let's get into the fun stuff. How did Steven become famous? Let's analyze. Lesson number 1, the pyramid strategy. So this tip I've been using for the past year now, I think, and I didn't get the information from Steven, but I did notice that Steven does it too, which kind of excited me because it kind of showed me that I've been doing the right thing for the past year. And basically this tip is super important if you're a YouTuber watching right now. For Instagram and TikTok, this isn't really applicable. The pyramid strategy. This is how it works. The pyramid has 3 points: thumbnail, title, and intro. And those 3 points have to align. Let's take this video for example. The title says, CIA spy, leave the USA before 2030. Why you shouldn't trust your gut, Andrew Bustamante. The thumbnail perfectly aligns, CIA spy, leave the USA before 2030. Now the intro also perfectly aligns. Watch this.
And then, why are you going to try and leave America in 2027?
This pyramid trick is super effective because you showcase to your audience that whatever the hook was, it wasn't just clickbait. By showing your audience that you're actually going to talk about it in the video, you increase your watch time, and your watch time is the most important thing in YouTube. Why would YouTube promote a video if people aren't even watching it until the end? So whatever you do, always try to increase your watch time. You can also do this by adding chapters, and especially add a chapter of whatever the introduction was about, whatever the title was about. Lesson number 2, short form is an art by itself. Many creators and social media managers, including me, aren't really a fan of short form content. It kinda, I don't know, you're kind of like fucking up content because you're just trying to make sure that information is squeezed into 1 minute, even though the information needs at least like a 5-minute to 10-minute explanation. But still, even though I hate it, I still gotta become an expert in it because everyone is watching short form content right now. So you cannot ignore this part, even if you hate it. Grace Andrews is Steven Barlett's social media manager. She shared in a podcast that many podcasts don't take short form content seriously. they don't treat it like an art in itself. They don't understand that you cannot just cut 60 seconds from a podcast, add some subtitles and be happy. You need to do more than that because there's so much competition. Gracie did share some tips on how to do it the right way, the way the Diary of a CEO does it.
Actually, short form is a visual art in itself that people are consuming more and more and more. The perfect story arc, one, the best hook possible, which might not be the start of the clip. You might be dragging the middle to the start and then come back to your story arc. Has it got a beginning, middle and end? Is it serving a point? Do you finish the clip going, cool, I learned something, or that was interesting, or that felt complete?
And one way that I apply this to my own podcast with treating short form content as an art by itself is that my team, we don't upload the same content on LinkedIn as TikTok, because those platforms, they've got different audiences. So whatever works on TikTok won't work on LinkedIn. Lesson number 3, sweat the small stuff. In the early 2000s, British cycling was underperforming. Their last major victory was in 1960. In 2003, Dave Brailsford became their new coach. He had a plan called marginal gains, which meant small improvements in a lot of areas. They made tiny changes like changing their bike seat, changing their massage gels, even changing their sleeping pillows. And all these little changes actually started to add up. They seriously started to see new results. By 2008, they were winning lots of races. At the Beijing Olympics, they won 60% of cycling gold medals. In the London Olympics, they set 9 Olympic records and 7 world records. This success showed that small but consistent changes can lead into big results. You can't improve one thing by 100%, but you can improve 100 things by 1%. Steven understood this. Watch this.
My team know, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with every detail. We spent hours thinking about every detail, like messing with the candle back there, the music we play when people come in. We usually research what music makes them sad or music gets them in a certain state, and we'll play it. The lighting, the feel of this room, the fact you're sat here, all of these tiny details. We'll mess around with the thumbnail, probably 4 of us around a computer for maybe an hour, 2 hours. And then at 2 a.m. at nighttime, we'll be talking about the title of that episode. And we don't believe in one big decision is gonna get us there. Our thesis, I'm willing to tell my competition this, is if we can find 1% improvement, whether it was 3 of us debating whether that candle should be lit before your auntie arrived. If we can find 1% somewhere, then that over any time frame is going to completely change the trajectory of our product here. And the real driving force, the thing that's going to make us care about if the candle's lit, is that we just love it. So I would love to compete against people who are sweating that the results haven't shown up yet. I remember a year ago, we were talking about this podcast. We could predict that we were going to become number 1 even before we were in the top 200 because of our trajectory. 2022 in October, we're going to be number 1. Because we care about the 1%. And when you zoom out, it's all about trajectory.
Moral of the story, just start and look for those 1% improvements. Don't just wait around and wait till you're 100% ready, because then you'll wait forever. When I started my podcast, we actually did it in the attic of my friend. So there's no excuse, you're never ready. We started with iPhones, now we got 4 4K cameras. So just start and you'll improve along the way. Lesson number 4, talk less about yourself. If you yourself aren't that famous yet, this tip will change the trajectory of your channel. TikTok and YouTube, they use keywords. So listen carefully. On average, Steven gets 800k views a day. So what happens if you make a video about him? YouTube will showcase your video in the algorithm of his fanbase. So when starting off, don't underestimate the power of using other people's fame. Just like I'm doing right now. Make sure it's a video of you actually sharing value. Don't just use it for clickbait. This will only hurt your brand and it won't gain you any new subscribers, and it will definitely not gain you any fans. The right way to do it though is, for example, if you're a fashion creator, you can make a video of you judging the outfits of celebrities during the Met Gala. Or if you're a luxury watch creator, you could do this. So the watch expert, he uses the fame of Jack Harlow, Dave, Roddy Ricch, but then at the same time he's also giving value. So that's the correct way of doing it. You get the point. Now let's get into the advanced level of social media hacks. Lesson number 5, Facebook A and B thumbnail testing. This is how Steven Barlett tests over 100 YouTube thumbnails before even uploading the video. This trick seriously amazed me, this is next level genius shit. Everyone knows how important thumbnails is. It can make or break your video. Most creators, they use software like TubeBuddy. for A and B thumbnail testing. But the thing is, with TubeBuddy, they don't give you the most accurate information in the first few hours. And the first few hours are the most crucial hours of your YouTube video. So in order to work with the most accurate information, Steven created this Facebook strategy. Using small budget campaigns, his team tests all the thumbnails as an ad creation for about a week before the episode launches, directing users to subscribe to his YouTube channel. The main objective is to test the click-through rate. The thumbnail with the best CTR becomes the final choice. As an added benefit, he also gains subscribers, but that obviously isn't the main reason why he does it. So I noticed that he uses this strategy like 6 months ago. He did stop 1 month ago, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. I think the reason he stopped is because it became a little too repetitive. But for him it worked in the beginning, so I think for us it could still work. I've been using it for the past month and I've seen some great results with my clients. Just a side note, YouTube has also introduced this new feature. So now they've got a built-in A and B thumbnail tester. I've been testing this out for the past 2 weeks. I haven't had great results yet. It's still in beta, so I don't expect that much yet, but Google has a lot of budget. They've got tons of billions of dollars, so they'll definitely figure this one out. Just give it some time. If you're in the advanced level, I definitely recommend you to do the Facebook testing. If you're not at that level yet, you could still use TubeBuddy, or you could use the new beta tool that YouTube has introduced. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know for a fact that you learned something, and if you didn't, rewatch the video. There must be something in it for you.